This has been running now about nearly 12 minutes. I've put the drive band for the hammer now onto the outside of the wheel rim. It's one of those curious flywheels that has two grooved power drive parts, whatever you call them. So it's running a little bit slower now. The SE2 now is coming more or less to the end of its run, so I've got the regulator wide open. And the tension on some of these bands is quite tight because I wanted it to make sure that it doesn't slip, and thinking that it wouldn't drive it, but there's a good mechanical advantage as much as that you've got a very, very small pulley driving a much, much bigger one there. So it's probably a reduction there of about 10 or 11 to 1, so it's allowing the engine to run fast without labouring. And say it's coming to the end now. I'm quite pleased with the setup. I should be taking this one along to Steam Toys in Action in February, and it'll make a nice basis of which I can connect other engines to, and have them running something which I think is a little bit more of an interesting spectacle for spectators as opposed to just watching an engine turning over. There you can see the hammer with the drive band now on the outside rim. And the SE2 gradually spinning down now. You just watch it as it comes to the end of its run, and gradually the pressure is lost in the boiler and you'll slow down and down further. The Meccano girder I find invaluable for making these Meccano workshops. They're much lighter obviously than big wooden bases. You can take them apart and rebuild them, reconstruct them and add tools or whatever, and I think they're very much in keeping with the overall flavour and look of a 1950s Mamod. And certainly young lads of the 50s would have been using all sorts of Meccano contraptions and connecting their engines up to all sorts of wonderful contraptions. There's many Mamod engines of this period, maybe later as well, that you find sometimes turn up on eBay with the odd sort of trunnion frames and all sorts of bits and pieces where in the long and distant past some form of Meccano line shaft or other gizmo has been incorporated into the engine and forgotten about and left on there. The engine itself, as well as the line shaft and all the tools, haven't obviously been repainted, touched in any way. You can see from this shot here that there's a very, very high degree of gloss on the firebox, which would indicate to me the engine has not been overly used. You can just see there, I mean, just if I move my hand in front of it, just how much gloss there is actually on that still. I don't think you can see the settle that clearly, but yeah, you can just see the outline of it there on the wrong side of the engine, which is quite mad in a way. Some of the paint's come off there, and you see the lamps of these never sit entirely centred under the boiler. Little holding ears and tabs on the wick tanks tend to sometimes be too far in, and they don't quite hold the lamp as square as one would have hoped. Got one of those long arm whistles which were very prevalent in the time of the mid-50s, sort of the next step up from the ones of the late 40s by having a much longer arm on them. That said, they don't work particularly well, but it's a nice visual feature to have on the boiler fittings. There, or punch as sometimes it's referred to. This one here you can see now has like the typical sort of bolt end on it. I'm not sure exactly when the plain plunger type was replaced with that on the end, but I would assume it was sometime in the mid-60s when the rather convenient little oiling point on the Mazat frames disappeared as well, which was a shame really, because they really were an extremely useful feature. There you have it, the Mamod SE2 workshop with a full ensemble of tools, and those of you that will be attending Steam Toys in Action 2009 will see this one running, and very much going to be a traditional approach to presenting engines this year.